Welcome back to Twin Football, the YouTube channel that covers the NFL, Premier League, and college football. Thank you very much for joining us in this summer of football. The Club World Cup and Gold Cup are going on. Jacob and I made a couple of videos following the Club World Cup as it's reaching its knockout stage and following the U.S. men's national team as it went 3 for 3 in the group stage. So please go ahead and check those videos out if you want to get caught up on the Club World Cup formatting, games, and the Gold Cup in this summer of football. But today's video is all about the transfer news in the Premier League, in particular Arsenal and its need for a striker. So to get this video underway, I want to go all the way back to the beginning of last season when Jacob and I were making our Premier League predictions, and we had predicted that Arsenal were going to take over the Premier League title from Manchester City and pickpocketed out of Pep Guardiola's pocket here. And it was finally going to be their year. Obviously, that did not happen. Liverpool stormed to the title in 24-25. So in order to figure out how Arsenal should handle this transfer cycle in the summer and what they need to do to finally get over the hump and end their 20-year Premier League drought for a title since going all the way back to their invincible year, I want to go through the 33-year Premier League history, and I want you to try and figure out what these teams have in common. So you go back to 92-93, which was the first Premier League season. Since then, only 7 unique champions. 92-93 was Manchester United's first division title in 25 years. How did they get there? Under Sir Alex Ferguson in the 6-year experiment that he had there. They were rising up the table of the first division that first year of the Premier League season. The summer before, they signed first division champion Eric Cantona from Leeds United for €1 million. He joined Sir Alex's team and scored 15 goals, got 15 assists, and they lifted their first Premier League title and their first division trophy in 25 years. You fast forward 4 more years, in the summer of 1997, Arsenal had gone 6 years without lifting a first division trophy. They sign Frenchman managing across the world in Japan, Arsene Wenger. He comes in, bans the Mars bars, bans all of the bad training habits and health habits, and leads Arsenal to its first Premier League title and first division title in 6 years. Arsenal and Manchester United go back and forth, winning Premier Leagues all the way until 2004-2005, when Chelsea, under new ownership, signed Jose Mourinho and Didier Drogba to go on and win its first Premier League trophy and its first top flight division title in over 50 years. Manchester City get new ownership and are banging on the door in 2009-2010 when they finished 5th and 3rd respectively. They then go ahead and sign Kun Aguero from Atletico Madrid and bang their first Premier League title and first division title in over 40 years. 2014-15, Jose Mourinho had been back with Chelsea. Chelsea hadn't won a title in 5 years. They go ahead and signed Diego Costa up front. He gets all the goals that they need as they cruise to the title with a couple games to spare in Jose's second season. 2015-2016, Leicester City, recently promoted to the Premier League, battle relegation. What do? They go ahead and sign new manager Claudio Ranieri, and 5,000 to 1 odds on Claudio and Jamie Vardy rush to the Premier League title in 2015-16. And in 24-25, Liverpool had gone 5 years without winning the Premier League. What do? They sign Arne Slot, who revigorates that team, organizes a little better, gets the best out of players like Szoboszlai, and they cruise to a second Premier League title, 2 in the last 5 years. So what do all of these teams have in common? It is that in order to end a long drought in the Premier League era of securing a trophy, 5+ years we're talking about, you must sign a new manager or a top tier striker. That is just historically what has happened. If as soon as you do that, Premier League titles start flowing in. Now we're talking 5+ years, right? So obviously teams have gone a couple years without winning in this Premier League era, but it's with predominantly the same squad, a few tweaks, a few adjustments here or there, and they've gone on to win again. Okay, so we're not talking about those teams. The only two main exceptions for teams winning a Premier League title after not winning for a while are the 94-95 Blackburn Rovers, who got promoted to the Premier League and signed Alan Shearer in the 92-93 season, the first year of the Premier League, and then finished fourth, second, and then won the Premier League when Alan Shearer was only 24 years old. He's one of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time. So I think we're going to give him a little leeway there. They still signed a striker. It just took him 2 extra years than everyone else on this list. That was obviously under Kenny Dalglish and all of his experience winning with Liverpool and a recently promoted team as well. And the other one would be that COVID year. Liverpool won the Premier League, and rightfully so, with many games to spare. But that team had made adjustments a couple years earlier. They had Firmino in 2015, but really they started making adjustments by signing Alisson and Van Dijk. They won the Champions League the year before, okay? So we're talking about a very odd team that won the Champions League and then went on to win a league title with that same group of players. It's usually the other way around. Premier Leagues, as Jamie Carragher said, are easier to win than the Champions League, even though he's only won the Champions League. So very interesting to say, but those are the only two exceptions out of this rule. So when we're looking at Arsenal, Arteta is the second longest tenured manager in the Premier League, only behind Pep Guardiola, as he has passed his 5-year mark now. He's not going anywhere, but he has no trophies. So are they going to sack him? No. So what does that mean? In order to win a title, as we've seen historically, and now obviously they're not the only reason these teams won the title, but historically, if you aren't signing a new manager, you need to sign a prolific striker. And Kai Havertz, despite his heroics for Chelsea in winning the Champions League and the Club World Cup in recent history, he is not going to cut it to the levels of an Aguero, a Drogba, a Costa, a Cantona, an Alan Shearer, these types of players. He is not that. So they are currently linked with Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres. Either one is going to do the job for Arsenal and help them contend for a Premier League title. Benjamin Sesko is younger, only 22 years of age, been applying his trade in the Bundesliga with some great return. I think he can lead the line for a couple years, maybe more like an Alan Shearer type, where he's going to need 2 years to really bed in with that younger Arsenal team to get them to a Premier League title. Whereas a Victor Gyökeres comes straight in. He's going to be like your Costas, your Drogbas, your Cantonas, going to hit the ground running as a little bit older, as he's 27 years old, similar to Cantona, Drogba, and Costa when they signed for their Premier League teams to win that first title. I think he'll hit the ground running right away and really help them challenge. So if you are an Arsenal fan, you need to be pleading and saying the only way you're going to win a Premier League title is if you sack Arteta or you sign a striker. The choice is yours, but always remember, enjoy the football, and thank you very much for watching.